As we continue to talk about peace over fear, I want to encourage you to turn in your own Bible to the 14th chapter of the Gospel of John. That whole chapter is about a believer's relationship with the glorified Christ. Christ is still with his disciples, but he's preparing them for his departure. And in John's Gospel, the glorification of Jesus involves his crucifixion, death, and resurrection. And at the end of that chapter, in verses 25 to 31, where Jesus is talking about how the advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send, is going to teach and remind his disciples of everything that Jesus said. And then verse 27 is our verse for today. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. You can see why I chose this verse for a theme of peace over fear, when Jesus is specifically saying, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled, do not let them be afraid. And if you look back at the beginning of chapter 14, what's the first sentence? Do not let your hearts be troubled. So in many ways, Jesus knows the hearts of the disciples are troubled because he's telling them he's going to be leaving them. And this is a very painful experience. It's very hard knowing someone you love and care about is going to be leaving, is going to be dying. And this is what Jesus is telling the disciples. So they're emotionally, obviously, caught up in all of that. And yet Jesus is saying before he goes that he leaves with them his peace, the peace that only he can give. And he says, I do not give to you as the world gives. What do you think Jesus means by that? How does the world give things to us? One way of answering that is everything the world gives to us is temporary, right? Everything you have is temporary. I took out a really, really old pair of shoes today that I only wear a couple times a year when I do really mucky work outside. And I don't even want to tell you what those shoes look like when I took them out. I'm probably going to just be throwing them away. But everything the world gives to us, everything materially, is temporary. And eventually it's going to disappear. Jesus gives to us in a way that can never be taken away. So when Jesus says, my peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, I do not give to you as the world gives. What he means is the peace that Christ gives us can never be taken away. No matter what we face, no matter who or what we lose, the peace that Christ gives us is forever. It's eternal. And it's for that reason our hearts cannot be troubled as much. It's the reason we don't have to be afraid.